Hello, everyone, anyone. If you're new, welcome. If you're returning, thank you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming and hanging out with me a little bit. So I've done a couple of REN reactions and have just been so impressed. And I'm hearing from y'all that power would be a good one for me to listen to next. So that's what we're here for. REN Power. And I did pull up the official video. All right, REN, I'm excited. Power. Let's go.
Get it? Power. These kids don't play my shit, I never had a top 10. Maybe it's cause I sing about violence and depression. They say don't blame these kids, just focus on yourself, friend. Well, if they don't like what I'm doing now, then fuck them. Don't trip high up the ante, learning licks like John Frusciante, smoking spliffs and popping candy, idolizing Sid and Nancy. Woo! Rock and roll in my soul, bumping knacking cold on the dole, fish and chips and games consoles, council house and violent flow. But life weren't sweet at home. Mum and dad took a trip and they split shalom. What will be, but me, I hate to see my mum alone. Late night crying, get so high to try to silence sounds of fighting. Through the walls I heard love dying, so I focused on my... That's what...
Wow, that's... I love how everything just kind of dropped out. It's like I focused on my... Almost telling you to like focus, bring focus to that line. But I feel like what he's saying is people are focused on power and influence, right? And I feel like he's just kind of like acknowledging, at least at this point in his career, and I don't know when this came out, but I feel like he's kind of saying like, I don't have much power, or I don't have any power. They don't play me on the radio, so therefore I don't have like influence. Is that right? Let's just go back. I'm just gonna go the whole way back, y'all. And y'all told me he makes his own beats. It's just
power. These kids don't play my shit, I never had a top 10. Maybe it's cause I sing about violence and depression. They say don't...
Yeah, so I misspoke. He's not talking about well, he is kind of talking about the radio, but he's saying he never had a top 10. Kids don't play his stuff. Maybe because of the topics that he's singing about or rapping about.
Blame these kids, just focus on yourself, friend. Well, if they don't like what I'm doing now, then fuck them. Don't trip high up the ante, learning licks like John Frusciante, smoking spliffs and popping candy, idolizing Sid and Nancy. Woo! Rock and roll in my soul, bumping knacking cold on the dole, fish and chips and games consoles, council house and violent flow. But life weren't sweet.
Yeah, sorry. So I kind of feel like what he's saying there is he's had a lot of different influences to his creative process, because he's saying like rock and rolls of my soul, bumping Nat King Cole, and then game consoles and things like that. Like these are the different things that influenced him, maybe.
Fish and chips and games consoles, council house and violent flow. But life went sweet at home. Mum and dad took a trip and they split shalom. What will be, but me, I hate to see my mum alone. Late night crying, get so high to try to silence sounds of fighting. Through the walls I heard love dying, so I focused on my...
Ooh, yeah. So he's saying things weren't good at home. So he basically did whatever he could to kind of drown out that noise, that, for lack of a better phrase, the fighting, he says. And it just gets my heart, like, when kids talk about their mom. And I'm not saying he's a kid, but he's saying it, it hurt him to see his mom hurting alone.
The walls I heard love dying, so I focused on my...
He heard love dying.
That's what it was. I focused on my... Now let's go back. These kids don't play my shit, I never had a gold plaque. My style is old school, but I swear this ain't a throwback. I put my visions into rhythms on a dope track. To understand the place I'm coming from, let's go back. When I was 16, I was a sick teen. I was a victim of my head. I was just 16, up in the kitchen, racking up lines till my nose bled. 16, and then I flipped.
I'm sorry, that's a bad pause. I just thought it was really clever how he says, okay, let's go back, and then he kind of goes back to the opening lines of the song. And now he's saying, to understand, we have to go back. And then he turns and says, when I was 16, like going back in his life. That's just super clever. I feel like what he's saying is, in the first bit, like all of these other things were happening and he was trying to drown it out. And so he focused on his power, right? His power to deliver a message through music, through his creativity. Is that right?
Place I'm coming from, let's go back. When I was 16, I was a sick teen. I was a victim of my head. I was just 16, up in the kitchen, racking up lines till my nose bled. 16, in an affliction, in an addiction with my dread. I was just 16, I was quite sick then. I was a prick then, I was a pleb, but fuck it. We're all misguided individuals, life can suck it. My cup ain't half full, man, I'm filling up the whole bucket. I'll drink my tears so I can drown my sorrow. Sing like I might die tomorrow. Live note for note, I go for broke on every single song I wrote. And every single song I write brings freedom to my weary mind. A healing that you'll only find inside an intricate design of kicks and snares and fat bass lines. I flip the script until I find my...
Oh, wow. He's just super clever with this wordplay on this. It's, a little bit different than what I've heard so far, which has been relatively straightforward. I feel like there's a lot of wordplay that's happening here. And I dig it, believe me. And it sounds really good too. It's switching up, it's dropping out, his delivery's changing, his voice is changing. So that just makes it super interesting to listen to, and it just sounds really good. But also what he's saying is pretty powerful. He's saying the creative process, the music, it helped heal him, or it helped start a healing process. And I wasn't aware that REN ever had a drug usage problem, but it does seem like he's talking about that here. He's saying he was sick, and I feel like that's almost a double, because he was sick as in physically ill, and then he's talking about drug uses, so maybe referring to that addiction as a sickness as well. And he's saying he found the healing that can only be found through beats and snares, and so he found healing in creating music. That's his power. His power is his creativity.
Drown my sorrow, sing like I might die tomorrow. Live for note for note, I go for broke on every single song I wrote, and every single song I write brings free.
Yeah, sorry, I really love that line as well. He's saying, I go for broke on every song I wrote, meaning I don't write shit just to write it. I pour my all into every line, every verse, every song. It's my all that goes into that.
For no, I go for broke on every single song I wrote, and every single song I write brings freedom to my weary mind. A healing that you'll only find inside an intricate design of kicks and snares and fat bass lines. I flip the script until I find my. It is what it is. I focus on my. Now run the track, run the track.
Is he voguing?
Get it?
I think I do get it. Maybe.
Get it? Power. Get it?
Oh, wow, so I almost feel like that can be a double meaning too, or I could just be like listening to too many other artists that do the doubles. I could just be reading into it, and y'all, at any given point in time, I could just be talking nonsense. So feel free to educate me in the comments. But he's saying, like, get it? Get it? So he's talking about all these, like, pretty heavy topics. And he's bringing it back to the creative process and his process and his healing and him focusing on his power. And so it's like, you get it? You get the message of the song? But then he's also saying, power, get it? Like, go get your power. Empower yourself. Go get your power. Is that right? I could just be reading into it. But I really enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the music video too. Because who can't relate to just, going for a drive or being in the car and just rocking out to something that sounds really good? And this sounded really good. And I want to be clear that I think the other songs sounded really good too, but this had a really like bouncy feel to it that you could just, turn it on and play it and just enjoy the sound of it. But then also the lyrics. I mean, he's just so compelling with what he does, isn't he? This was definitely, a little bit different. And I just feel like that's, maybe what to expect from REN. You don't know what he's gonna throw at you. But, he will have poured himself, his all, into whatever he's delivering. And you feel that with him. I mean, he exudes it through the screen even. You just know, even with what would seem like a lighter song, but really what he's talking about is pretty heavy. You can feel that he's not writing stuff just to write stuff. He's not producing music just to sell music or just for the sake of doing it. I enjoyed this a lot. And then that get it. I mean, it's like, go get your power. Empowering. Power yourself. Get it? Am I just talking nonsense, y'all? That's possible. It's very possible. Whether I'm misinterpreting or not, y'all can let me know, but I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed that a lot. Wow, Ren, you just, I don't even know. I don't even, just, no more words. All right, Ren. Thank you all so much for suggesting that. And yeah, what's next? Renegades. I mean, what's next? Because we need more Ren. Thank you so much, y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.